Hi, welcome back to my channel. Here is my 2-month reading wrap up and my TBR for the next month. Let's dive in. Pulling up my reading stats. I use Storygraph because I don't like Goodreads, honestly. Storygraph is not like very great, but you can keep track of your DNFs and I kind of love that. So we'll talk about the first physical book I read this year, which is Kingdom of the Wicked. I rated this a 2-star. It just was a very mid book. I decided I'm not going to continue the series. I actually had bought the second book and I returned it. The plot could have been so good, but the character just got herself involved in so much shit she could not handle, and then she was so surprised she couldn't handle it. And at the end of this book, she's obviously going into the next book and she's like, I'm gonna be that girl. And I was like, you weren't even that girl in this book. Don't believe it. Next. So yeah, she was a 1-star. It was a little disappointing to start my year off that way. But the next physical book I read was Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, and I absolutely love this book. The vibes were cozy, small town, childhood rivals to lovers, the banter, the found family mixed with the like actual family was so good. The moms, I loved them. Everything about this book was just super cute, a super good time. It was really long, as you can see, and I kind of just wish that we got a little bit more of like them growing up, because I felt like it would have just made the story that much better. So this was a 4-star. Loved it. And a fun fact is I listen to all my audiobooks for free. I use my local library apps, which is Hoopla and Libby. So I did listen to quite a few books. I listened to Paris Hilton's memoir. It was super inspiring. I learned so much about her that I didn't know. I just thought she was like Paris Hilton. She's just an it girl. She has so much more than that. I left that book feeling like so inspired, which was really great compared to like when I read Britney Spears' memoir. I didn't leave feeling inspired, but it was a good book nonetheless. I don't rate people's stories. Who am I? You know what I mean? And then we have Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. I didn't rate this one. It was interesting, but it felt very eerie since Matthew Perry had already passed away, and you could like see the red flags in the books. It just was super sad, and it was not as inspirational. Like when I read Paris Hilton's memoir, I felt so inspirational. I left Matthew Perry's book heavy. Like that's the only way to explain it. And then I listened to Daisy Hates, the second book in the Magnolia Park universe. I loved it. Oh my god, I loved it so much. I like this one more than the Magnolia Parks books because I like the action and the drama of like the mob family. Jess's writing is so beautiful, so I am willing to read Magnolia Parks' second book to get to Daisy Hates' second book. Listening to this book was great because of the accents and just it was all the vibes, and you know when you read like an audiobook and the woman does like the man's voice and she's like, he said da, 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 and you're like, ooh, kind of cringy. It wasn't like that. Like her going into his voice wasn't bad, and him going into her voice, it wasn't bad at all. So I would highly recommend. Moving into the physical books I read in February. This was good. This was good. It was 4 stars in my opinion, in my very humble opinion. A lot of people complained that it was like giving Hunger Games Red Queen, whatever. And to that I say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We like it, right? We eat it up. Don't change the recipe. Just put it in a different font. I loved this. The banter, all of it. Not to say too much about the ending, so if you don't want to know absolutely anything, skip this part. It ended, and the next book, the next book is going to be so good. The angst, the enemies to lovers that it's going to serve. I didn't know how it was going to end. I didn't know where we were going to go from there. It ended, and I'm ready for the next one. Finish this, and this is my reminder to myself, I need to pre-order the next book. But Powerless by Lauren Roberts, fantastic. My book club read was Night Shift. I've been going to the Ripped Bodices book club in Culver City, and it's super fun. Here's my ticket. They don't even check it. I don't know why I printed it. I'm just such a rule follower. I did tab it, and then like my tabs even have a little code, so that was fun. There's 2 ratings to this book. It's a 3.5 read. It's a cheeky romance. There's not much to it. That's it. It's not giving depth. It's not giving trauma. It's not giving none of that. It's just a romance, a college romance. But my experience reading this book and then going to book club is a 5-star. The ladies there are so nice. It's so welcoming. It was super cute because there was a guy there, and it was on Valentine's Day, and he went to book club with his girlfriend because that's what she wanted for Valentine's Day. Stop. It was so cute. Yeah, and it's one of those fun books where it knows it's a romance book and it's like so self-aware, and it's kind of funny. At first I was like, I don't know if I love it, but it dove so far into it that I was okay with it at that point. And my last physical read for February is How I'll Kill You by Reen DeStefano. I don't know. I love this book. Oh my god, I love this book. It's giving Valentine's Day. It's giving serial killer. When I bought it, my nails had like perfectly matched the book. They don't anymore, but that's besides the point. I picked this up randomly at Barnes & Noble. It was in the shelf like that, and I was like, cute, look at this. Like, it's giving cute and scary. Oh, it's not focusing. There we go. And I was like, I have to read it. Picked it up, read the back, immediately purchased. This was the only thing I bought in Barnes & Noble when I went, because it was like, had me by the throat. Oh my god, the story was so good, so dark, so twisted. Someone had said it was like a rom-com. It's definitely not a rom-com. It's a romance thriller. It's suspenseful. There are funny moments in it, but it is not a rom-com. Like, I didn't give introductions or like summaries of the other books, but I feel like everybody's kind of read them. Haven't heard too many people talking about this one. So just to give you a little synopsis, there are 3 sisters and they move state to state killing men. You find this out in like the prologue and even from the back of the book. And Sissy is what they call her, but that's not her real name. It's finally her turn to pick her mark and make her kill. And it doesn't go as planned. Twisty, turny, had me by the throat. Kinda had me even scared. Not gonna lie, but that might just be me. So, 5 stars. 5 stars. The writing, the setting, the characters. I cried. I cried in this book. And the ending, it was so good. So then, moving on to my listens of the month. I think I only listened to 1 book, which is Iron Flame. I had FOMO. I bought the book, right? And I was like, man, I want to read it. I love Fourth Wing. I thought it was okay. I thought this is the book that it's going to get better. Fourth Wing is a setup book. This book is going to be very like plot, character driven. I read the first 90 something pages and I put it down in December. I didn't pick it up. I was scrolling through Libby, as one does, and I seen that you can listen to this book for free. For free. So I placed my hold. Pretty much a hold is like when you wait for the book to be delivered to you. And it took a while to get here. It got here and I had 14 days to listen to it. Day 13 came and I was like, I still had 8 hours left in the book. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to read this. I barely finished it before it was returned. Like, I literally finished it 20 minutes before the book was forcibly taken out of my phone and given back. I've decided, I don't know if it's because I'm not a fantasy girly or it's this particular fantasy. I don't love reading fantasy, and that's just my preference, my prerogative. I've decided I might continue to buy the books, but I will be listening to these. I might even be willing to pay to listen to them depending on the price. If the price is right, I will pay for it. But I'm hoping I can listen to these books for free on my library app because it was disappointing. I know that listening to books is reading books, don't get me wrong, but it is easier. And this is just one series that I just want to feel a part of all the book girlies, so I'll listen to it. And that's all it's gonna get out of me. It was a 3-star. The voices were a little cringy, I'm not gonna lie, on the audiobook. I did love like the found family within Violet and her like inner circle. I think the plot could have been very strong if we cut more of the back and forth between Violet and Xaden. That's just my opinion. And I feel like things are kind of just thrown in at random, lost in the sauce. That's that. 3 stars. 3 stars because the dragons carried the book on their back. Like, that's just it. So now we're moving on into the video where we get into my TBR for the next month. I just want to say, I work full-time, I go to school, and I'm a slow reader just in general. So I don't try to pick too many books to put on my TBR because I don't want to set myself up for failure. I want to challenge myself, but I'm not setting myself up for failure. TBR, here we go. I got this bookcase. I don't love it, but I got it. And right now, my Kindle is in it. I did get a new Kindle, guys. So I do want to read some books on my Kindle. And the first book reading on my Kindle, here she is. The first book I'm reading on here is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. It is my book club book for the month, so we'll see. I don't love Ali Hazelwood. I've only read Love Hypothesis, and it wasn't necessarily my favorite, and I had read it so long ago when we were talking about it and everyone was so excited. I was like, I don't think I love Ali Hazelwood, and they were like, why? And I'm like, it was a long time ago. Read a lot of books in between, can't remember why I don't love her, and now I'm remembering why. I feel like the writing is so smart that it takes me out of the story because I get so caught up on words I don't know. So, after I read Bride, I'm gonna read Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. I think my book gets here Wednesday. I'm so excited. Done and Dusted had me by the throat. I read it in 2 days. I ate it up. I wanted to buy my man a cowboy hat. Like, that's just where I was at, okay? And I hope to get all the same feelings in Swift and Saddled. So that'll be coming in. And then from my physical TBR, because I do want to get some books off of there, I want to read All In, which is the 3rd book in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I kind of miss being here. I do want to read a thriller, but I want to read an easy thriller, and they're YA. They go super fast. This one's a little thicker than the first 2, so I'm a little bit intimidated, but excited nonetheless. Let me know, are you Team Dean or the other guy? Obviously, I think I'm Team Dean because I can't remember the other guy's name. So, after that, we will be reading The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston? I don't know. The sticker's covering her name. Gotta get the sticker off. But, I think I saw on TikTok that the nickname in here is Lemon, and I could be wrong. I saw Yellow Book. I think it was this, but I don't know. I've heard a little bit about it. I've heard it's sad. So we'll see. We'll see what it brings us. And then moving on to the audiobooks I have on hold and I'm hoping to receive, but who knows if I'll be blessed by the public library gods. I was blessed actually yesterday. My hold for Magnolia Parks came in, the 2nd Magnolia Parks book, the 3rd book in the universe. The Great Undoing, that came in yesterday. It's due in 13 days, so I need to start it. Probably after this video I'm gonna start. I have 2 other books on my Libby app that I want, but they're on hold. I have the Hurricane Wars, which is my April book club's read. It's fantasy. I'm not a big fantasy girly, as I've said, so I'm hoping I can get that in and listen to it. But if I can't listen to it, I'm probably gonna read it on my Kindle just to have a reason to use my Kindle. And then I have None of This Is True by Lisa Joelle on my Libby app on hold. The estimated time is 16 weeks, but sometimes it comes in faster, and that's kind of what we're hoping for. So that's the end of the video. I hope you liked, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!